And I'm delighted to welcome you here to this info session on our teacher training pathway. So, just to give you a little bit of an overview of how it will work, we'll drop into a brief mindfulness meditation practice to kind of arrive. And then I'll give an overview of the training program that will last in the ballpark of 20 minutes. And then I'll reserve the rest of the time for any questions you might have. So if you're able to turn your camera on, I love to see faces, and it's fine if you're in an environment where you can't do that. So entirely your choice. Yeah, thank you all. So let's go ahead and begin with a sitting practice. So you can close your eyes if you like, you don't have to. And the invitation is to bring your attention inward. To notice what it's like to be here right now, to be joining on this Zoom call in this online space, but also physically taking space in wherever you are. The way in which you're being held by your chair or the floor, or in whatever way you've arranged yourself, being held by the earth itself. And noticing what it feels like to be pulled down by this force of gravity toward the earth. Maybe you feel a sense of pressure where your body is making contact with the chair or the floor. Maybe a sense of texture, weight. This capacity to direct attention, to place it somewhere. And just because we can rest our attention somewhere doesn't mean it stays there, and that this is part of the practice. That we rest our attention, notice when it wanders off, and then gently bringing attention back. And maybe now, if you like, shifting your attention to your feet and noticing sensation here. Maybe a sense of constriction of shoes and or socks. A sense of warmth or coolness. The way your feet are pressing up against the floor. Bringing a curious attention, a curious noticing. And we'll call this an anchor, a place to anchor or rest your attention. And now inviting you to try one more, if it's appropriate for you. For some people, the breath doesn't work very well, but if it's okay, you can bring your attention to your breathing now. Whether it be in your belly, your chest, or your nose. If that feels like too much, you can keep your attention in your feet or your seat. But if it's okay, noticing the rising and falling of your breath, not trying to change it, manipulate it, slow it down. Simply noticing it as it is. And now considering these different places where you can rest your attention, choosing one, whether it be your seat, your feet, or your breath. And for the remainder of this practice, gently resting attention here. As your attention wanders off, kindly, gently bringing it back to your anchor. And now beginning to bring this practice to a close. So you can open your eyes if they're closed, stretch your body out if that would feel good. All right. Well, thank you for this opportunity to practice. And a number of you logged on after we started, so a warm welcome. Once again, I'm Erin Wu, an MBSR teacher trainer here at Brown University. And in this MBSR teacher training info session, I will now give us a brief overview of the program, maybe about 20 minutes, and then reserve the rest of the time for any questions you have. If you're in a space where you can turn your camera on, I love to see faces, and fine if you leave it off. So out of curiosity, how many of you have already taken an MBSR class as a participant? Okay, some of you and not everyone. Okay. So for those of you who haven't, there are info sessions if you want to learn more about that, and I'm happy to take questions at the end if we have time about the MBSR class itself. Um, this is on the teacher training pathway, so I'm going to start there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you a graphic of our training pathway. And this is on the website, and I'll give you a link to it later. This is level one of the teacher training pathway. And I'll show you the full pathway later, but we'll start with level one. And so you can see here this gray color are prerequisites. The darker gray are course one and two, and then the red are qualification levels. So I'll start with prerequisites. In order to take the teacher training program, there are three prerequisites. The first is that you take the MBSR course, the 8-week course, as a participant for yourself. Serves a few purposes. It's a way of orienting you around the way we practice mindfulness in this particular tradition of it. It's a way of deepening your own meditation practice and getting a taste for the course. Is this actually something that you want to train in? You can take the course with us here at Brown, or you can take it anywhere in the world. That's up to you. The second prerequisite is to attend a silent meditation retreat. And that can be one retreat that's a minimum of 5 days, or you can split it into two shorter 3-day retreats. And there are specific requirements around that. And I can show you that information about retreats a little later also. And then the third prerequisite is that you have a teacher training, a meditation practice of your own, that you are engaging in daily meditation for yourself. And the reason for this is that there are some subject matters where you can read a book and then begin teaching it. We don't believe meditation is that way, that in order to teach it well, you have to know a lot about it yourself. So we're looking for an established meditation practice. And depending on your circumstances, sometimes it doesn't have to be a 2 full years, but great if it is. So once you've met the prerequisites, you can enroll in our first training class. It's called MBSR, and I should say MBSR stands for Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction, shortened to MBSR because that is a mouthful. So the first course is called MBSR Foundations and Facilitator Training. So in this class, you will be in a group of up to 12 people. Sometimes our classes fill, sometimes they don't, but the maximum is 12 people. And then you'll take the MBSR class again as well, and you'll be placed in a much larger group of the general public of 35 or so people in that MBSR class. And then you have the foundations seminar either later that day, the next day, something like that. And so in that MBSR Foundations and Facilitator class, you will be reflecting on your experiences in the MBSR class. It's this great model where you're immersed in a class with everyone else in your class with the instructor. And then you get to talk about what those experiences were like for you, where you leaned out, where you leaned in, what kinds of questions you have. So it's a great way of learning about the curriculum from the inside. And then there's all sorts of ways in which we explore the curriculum. You're given the curriculum so that you can begin engaging with it. We have all sorts of resources we provide you. It's seminar style learning. And so a lot of conversations in small groups, in the large group of 12, different activities and projects that you engage in, a wide way of learning about the MBSR curriculum, as well as the MBSR way of teaching, which is very different than many traditional ways of teaching. And then beyond that, we also prepare you to become mindfulness facilitators. And that means preparing you to guide short mindfulness practices and to offer introductory workshops. So when you successfully complete that first course, you become a mindfulness facilitator. And we issue a credential, a brown credential that identifies you as a mindfulness facilitator recognized by us. For some people, that's as far as they want to go. That's what they're looking for. They want to offer mindfulness in these smaller ways. So for some people, that's the end pathway. Other people want to continue on to become an MBSR teacher. So if that's the case for you, there are additional prerequisites. A second silent meditation retreat or 2 3-day retreats if you want to break it off into 2 pieces. And then the other 2 that you see here, we prepare you for in the foundations class. So we give you resources for the independent study and talk about how you identify where you want to go with your independent study. And then you need to teach a minimum of 3 introductory sessions. Once you have completed those prerequisites and a minimum of 3 months, you can continue on to the second course, the Teacher Advancement Intensive. And this course prepares you to teach the full MBSR curriculum. So we demonstrate the major curriculum elements. You do a lot of practice teaching with those curriculum elements and guiding mindfulness practice. You give each other feedback, you self-reflect, and we provide feedback on your teaching. That course takes place over 3 weekends, which are spread out. It's not sequential weekends. Typically, it's one weekend off, one weekend, a weekend off, a weekend on, a weekend off, and so forth. And those are full days. It's called an intensive for a reason. So full day sessions, typically on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And when you successfully complete the TAI, as we call it for short, you are a qualified level 1 MBSR teacher, which means that you can teach MBSR in whatever settings you wish. You are an MBSR teacher. So that completes level 1. And for some people, that's as far as you want to go. And I'll show you the full training pathway, which takes you all the way to certification. And then we'll ask this question, well, why would I go all the way if I'm an MBSR teacher at level 1? So we'll talk about that. It's important to say that we don't provide teaching opportunities, that it's everyone's responsibility to figure out where you plan to teach, whether it's the shorter introductory programs or the full MBSR class. Also, to say that some people don't want to teach the MBSR class, but do want that qualified level teaching because they want to take MBSR and adapt it in different ways for whatever setting you have to be in, you happen to be in. And so that is a very valid way of doing our training. You learn one way of doing it, and then you can take the different pieces and components and integrate them into something else. All right, so I am going to switch to a second graphic, which shows the whole training pathway. Okay, so if you look at this first part, you can see the level 1 that I just went over. So this takes us all the way to final certification at the end. So if you go across, you can see there are 2 additional courses, the MBSR Curriculum Study Group and Skill Building Workshop and Individual Mentoring. These are sequential courses, and you can see there are prerequisites down here for them, that you take the curriculum study group early on in your teaching, because once you become a level 1 teacher on your pathway to certification, you need to teach MBSR 6 times, 6 full cycles of MBSR. So these prerequisites talk about where you are in that. And to engage in individual mentoring, you need to have taught a few of the courses already. I won't go into great detail because that's kind of far off from where you are right now. Down here are additional classes that you need to take that are non-sequential. You can take them anytime after you've finished the foundations course. So Dialogue and Inquiry is a 5-week course that meets for 2 hours. And then these 2 ethos classes of mindfulness-based programs. There are 2 additional retreats you take. So once you complete all of this coursework, have taught at least 6 full MBSR classes, then you can apply for MBSR teacher certification. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen there, and I'll just say a little bit about why you would go to any one of those levels. I really encourage people to, if you're unsure whether you want the full certification or just the level 1, go to level 1 and begin teaching and see how that goes. All of our classes are self-paced. You don't enter into one cohort and move sequentially through. So you can take the courses whenever you wish. So go to level one, begin teaching. Uh, People we find are adequately prepared, generally speaking, to begin teaching MBSR. And some people feel great. I'm ready to go. I'm good. Some people begin teaching and then identify, I feel a little shaky on the science part. I think I'm going to take that ethos class now. Or I want to explore dialogue and inquiry more, or I want to revisit whatever. And that can be a way of saying, okay, well, I'm going to go take another class. For many situations, you do not have to be a certified teacher. Before I was, I'm not sure I was ever asked if I was certified or not. So it's not necessarily a requirement. There are settings where it is a requirement. For example, I don't know, maybe teaching at a university level or engaging in research. There are different places where that might be required. We're currently involved in research that is working toward getting MBSR approved by insurers, health insurers, and in that case, it's likely they would require it. But many situations where you don't have to be. So go to level one and see, and you have many opportunities throughout to engage with our teacher trainers to have conversations about whether that makes sense for you or not. So I think I'll pause there and check in and see what questions you might have. You can unmute yourself. You can raise your electronic hand like this, like Amber just did. You can also type in the chat, open to anyways. Hi, Amber.
Hi, thank you for this session today. And I wanted to see, I had done the intro, the prerequisite class, but I was wondering on the 2 years, I kind of had some disruptions in the background. It said you need 2 years of experience. Is that in yoga training or teaching or, sorry?
Yeah, no, that's okay. No need to apologize. Yeah, the 2-year practice requirement is that you're engaging in mindfulness practice on a
Okay.
daily basis or close to a daily basis. And it could be body-based work and also meditation. So you took the MBSR class, so the different forms of practice that we offer, that you're engaging in those regularly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I see some in the chat. Does the mindfulness blood pressure course count toward the MBSR facilitator as a prerequisite? We really want you to take the MBSR class, but if there's some consideration, we're happy to look at that on a one-off basis. So you can reach out to us about that. What would qualify as a retreat, i.e., 5-day to 3-day retreats? So I see that's an iPhone user. I'm going to share my screen and show you our retreat page. I hope you can see that on your phone. But I will go ahead and put that in the chat so that you can also link to it. Let's see. I'm looking for the link right now. Okay. So let me put the link in the chat and then I will share my screen and I can walk you through that. Okay, so this is our retreat page. And if you scroll down a little bit, it's just kind of a general overview. Down here under recent offerings, it's a little bit of a misnomer. We're updating our retreat page for a little bit more clarity. This section right here are retreats offered by our Brown faculty. Some of them are indeed recent, some of them aren't currently offering things, but you can click on these and go to different teacher retreat pages. So for example, this is Bob Stahl's retreat page, and you can see he offers quite a few retreats, both in the United States, Asia, Europe, and throughout the year. So any of the retreats that you would link to here, except for travel retreats where you're going to, say, Bali or something like that, any of these retreats, because they're offered by our Brown faculty in other settings, would meet our prerequisites. If you come down here, these are some retreat centers, mostly in the United States, a few of them in Europe, that at least some of the time offer retreats that meet what we're looking for. So you could look at any of these. And then if you come down here to retreat formats, this spells out what we're looking for in a silent meditation retreat. So each retreat includes a minimum of 12 hours. During that 12-hour day, there's a minimum of 8 hours of formal practice hours and so forth. I won't read this to you, it's here. But this spells out what we're looking for and then what we're looking for in a 3-day retreat. So you can take a retreat anywhere in the world uh, and just compare the retreat you're interested in to those requirements. And if it meets those requirements, then we accept it. You don't need to get it pre-approved by us. We take your word that you've looked it over. If you have questions, you can run it by us, but it's on the honor system. All right, let's see. Yeah, so does that answer your question? You can ask a follow-up question if it doesn't. Do UMass Medical Center employees receive a discount for this course? No. These courses are offered by Brown University, and we don't have a relationship with UMass Medical Center. Some of our faculty here came from the Center for Mindfulness at UMass Medical School, but there's no association, completely separate organization. Elizabeth asks, are the course 1 and 2 offered in person or a combination of both? So all of our courses are offered virtually online. There is one exception to that. Well, we do offer some MBSR courses in person, but there are always offerings online. Next spring, 1 year from now, the Teacher Advancement Intensive Course 2 will be a hybrid course. So I told you that those are 3 weekends. The first 2 weekends will be online, and the last weekend will be offered here on Brown's campus. Um, and then otherwise, that course is offered entirely online. So if you didn't want to come here, you could take it at a different time. So all of the courses throughout the training pathway can be done online exclusively. There may be, as in the case of the TAI, one time that you'd have to work around where that is offered in part in person. Shanique, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
Hi,
What?
Shanique.
Shanique, sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know.
No
So I
worries.
just went over the retreat page.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah,
second part of the question was how recent the retreat should be for to be applicable for a prereq.
yeah. So have you taken one? What is the time frame, Shanique?
I have I've done some last year and then I also have some planned this year, but just was wondering if I don't do the training this year.
That would be fine. Within
Okay,
a few years is perfectly fine.
sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. And did you hear when I walked through the retreat page just
I
now?
I did, and I did
Okay,
grab the link. So
great,
thank you.
great. So Tyler is asking another question about UMass. So the Center for Mindfulness at UMass closed a number of years ago now and no longer exists. A new Center for Mindfulness opened at UMass Memorial Healthcare. So it's a different organization. Some of the teachers are the same. And we have a working relationship with them. They do not offer a teacher training program. They only offer MBSR, MBCT public-facing classes, and they actually recommend to Brown University anyone who is interested in teacher training. So we have a relationship with them, and they don't offer. They refer people to our training program. Okay, so an iPhone user is asking this question. I read wherever you go, there you are. You're starting an MBSR course next week. Do I recommend any reading to help you understand, i.e., coming to our senses? Yeah, so that's a great question. The MBSR class is experiential. We don't suggest reading in the class. We really suggest that you engage in the mindfulness practices, try them out, see how they work, and participate in the class. Have discussions about them. Ask questions, hear how other people are responding to the practices. And we believe that this is the best way to learn about what mindfulness is. After you complete the class, if you want to learn more, we're happy to recommend books, but you are doing the best thing right now. Take the class, see how it goes, and then undoubtedly, I mean, I think most people continue to have questions after, then turn to books. So I'll defer until after the class, if that's all right. And not sure how to pronounce this name. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jenilyn. I'm from Montreal. Can I still take this
Yeah,
class?
that's good.
Great. Yes, we have people who take our classes from all over the world, including Montreal. We love our Canadian neighbors. And it's actually one of the great things about taking our classes is that I would say the majority are typically from the United States, but we have people from Asia, from Europe, sometimes from South America, sometimes from Africa, sometimes from Australia, other countries in North America. And so you are very welcome, and we welcome you. Uh, Jenilyn, were you here when I went over retreats? Did that question
Yeah,
get answered for you?
yeah.
Okay, great. All right, Christopher, you wanted to confirm that the coursework is self-paced. How long do you have to complete coursework? How many hours per week? Yeah. So the pathway is self-paced. So what I meant by that is if I take foundations beginning this summer, I might wait a full year before I take the TAI, or I might say I'm ready to continue. So that's what I meant by self-paced. The courses themselves follow a set pace within the course. So there are assignments each week. Some of them, many of them do, in the case of foundations, that the following week. Some of them are longer assignments, but you're given the timeline for all of them so that the expectations are clear. Um, and then in terms of how many hours per week. So when you take that first class, the MBSR Foundations and Facilitator class, I mean, it depends. There's a lot of reading in that class, so it depends on how quickly you read. You read material, and if you're from another country taking the class as a second language, that might take longer. We say maybe 5 to 8 hours. Keep in mind that when you take that class, you're also taking the MBSR class again, and there's home practice that you're expected to do because you're a full participant in that class. So there's also daily meditation practice that you're engaging with in addition to the homework assignments. In the other classes, it varies in terms of the amount of time. So, for example, the second class, the teacher advancement intensive, there's much less work between sessions, very little in some cases. In between the sessions, maybe a few hours. And then a lot of the learning is just taking place when you're in those practice teaching sessions. Yeah. Is that helpful?
It is. Thank you. Just another follow-up question to that. How much work in these classes revolves around research and writing? Because part of my job currently revolves around some research and writing, and it takes 3 days to do that. And so if I'm asked to do another research paper every week or something like that, that's just it's a lot. And so I'm trying to determine how much am I adding to my current workload.
Sure. So you will not be asked to write any research papers. You will be asked to read a number of different research articles in the foundations class and in some of the other classes. But that's more reading. There are written reflections where you read an article and then you respond to how you're applying it to your own practice or that kind of thing. But that's nothing like a research paper. There are some written assignments, but I wouldn't compare them to a research paper in any way. There is an ethos class that deals with research, and you are asked to engage with research a bit, but again, not in a research paper kind of way. Yeah. All right. Also, just a reminder, if you want to raise your hand, I love live questions too. In the absence of hands up, I'll continue to turn to the questions in the chat. So Daniel asks, I'm curious about the frequency of course offerings in level 1. Yeah. So the MBSR Foundations course 1, is offered 4 times a year every year. So you're always just at most a couple months away from the next start of a course. So we are currently in our spring foundations courses and enrolling for our summer and our fall classes. Our summer classes start toward the end of June, and the fall classes start mid-September. The Teacher Advancement Intensive is offered twice a year currently, in the spring and in the fall. So that's offered twice a year. And then let me think. All of the other classes are offered twice a year. They each follow either a winter, summer, or a spring, fall. So for all the other classes, you're at most 6 months away from being able to take one of those. Uh, Another iPhone question. There are so many different meditation certifications being offered now, popular in culture. It's true. What makes MBSR the best? So this is a great question. I will give my opinion why I think, I don't know all of them, so I can't say MBSR is our form is the best. I can say we offer a really high quality, research-based, fantastic program. So I'll explain why I think this is the case. So MBSR is the gold standard right now in the field of mindfulness because it is the most evidence-based program of any by far. There are thousands of papers written on MBSR and the effects of taking this particular course and what effects it has on the brain, on mood disorders, on all sorts of health conditions, on flourishing. So it is by far the most researched program available. So that's one thing. And then why you might want to take it at Brown. We are the leading institution offering MBSR teacher training in the world. And we are closely aligned with the Mindfulness Center here at Brown. The executive director is Eric Lux. He is a top-notch researcher in the mindfulness world. I have deep respect for him as a mindfulness practitioner, as well as for the research. I just had lunch with him, with Judson Brewer. I don't know if you're familiar with his work, another top-notch researcher, Shufang Sung. She's one of our newer researchers doing fantastic. We have really engaged practitioners, people who are practitioners first and doing really exciting research. And so we are closely linked with them. And when things are arising in our classroom, we have access to them. We also have access to their research and what the latest findings are and how we can integrate those into our work. And then beyond that, my colleagues, my fellow teachers here, yeah, I even feel emotional saying it. I have a deep respect for all of our teachers here. So, yeah, we have just really a high quality program. And we get that feedback again and again from people who take our classes. Yeah. And so, in terms of other programs, I encourage you to do your homework, research other forms of offering it, other institutions that are offering teacher training, and ask them similar questions. Yeah. All right. Beth is asking, is there also an MBSR teacher training program on the West Coast or anywhere else that is accredited by Brown MBSR teacher training leading to certification by Brown MBSR program? The answer to that is no. There are other MBSR teacher training programs. There is one on the West Coast. There are programs all over the world that have high quality MBSR teacher training programs, but there is only one that leads to the certification by Brown. Yeah, yeah. Are the costs for the courses available online? Yes. So I'm going to share my screen again. And this is our qualified retreat page, but I'm going to go to our home page right here. This gives an overview of the teacher training program. And right over here on the left is MBSR registration and cost. I'll put this in the chat. You don't have to remember where this is. But here's a list of the courses with the tuition amounts, and then you can click on any one of these courses and it takes you to a course description with information about any prerequisites and then the offerings. So I clicked on the Foundations and Facilitator Training Program, and so you can see we're offering 3 classes in the summer and 4 in the fall. And if you click on any one of these, it will give you information about this particular offering. So this one is offered Mondays and Wednesdays, 6 to 8:30 on Monday, 5 to 8:30 on Wednesdays. And it tells you the teacher, in this case, Bob Linscott. So that's where you would find it. And I will go ahead and put some of these links in the chat for you. So I just put a link to our main page that I showed you, to the course registration page, to that level 1 graphic, and to the tuition, to the cost page and tuition assistance page. How can you contact me if you have more questions? I am putting my email in the chat right now. So you are welcome to email me directly. I'll be sending a follow-up email soon after. So you don't even have to take my email address down. You'll get a follow-up email and you can just reply to me when you get that email. And happy to be in conversation with you. Yeah, we can talk through email if you have additional questions. We can set up a Zoom call to meet. We also offer advising sessions. Lynn, my colleague, who's another teacher trainer, and I both meet, and I'll send you a link to that as well.
Erin, I had a question.
Sure.
I was wondering what your experience has been with cohorts and whether people tend to get to know each other and like do things offline as a group, or like stay in touch, or what, I don't know, the norms are around that.
Yeah. Yeah. So when people take that first class, that foundations class, it's a small group of only up to 12 people. And quite often, many people in that group grow quite close to one another because we're talking about mindfulness. We're talking about how that impacts ourselves and what we're learning about it. We're learning about the curriculum. There's quite a bit of vulnerability that many people are willing to be in, and so people become quite close. Many, not all, but many of those groups continue meeting. Some of them on a monthly basis, some of them in an ad hoc way, some of them more frequently. I can tell you that I took a similar class like this. Brown wasn't offering them, but at UMass Medical School back in 2014, I still meet every Sunday with a couple people from my class to meditate, to support ourselves in that way. I really encourage people to hold on to those connections. They're so important. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that question. And Althea, beyond that, once you are a level one teacher, we also offer a monthly teacher group to support teachers in our community because it's challenging when you first start teaching. We think we prepare you well, and like who knows what's going to come up. So we offer a monthly teacher meeting where you have an opportunity to perhaps connect with people from your own cohort, but also meet other teachers. And many people feel really well supported through that.
That's really nice to know. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, any other questions? Is it Ziki?
Yes, Ziqi. Thank you for the info session. It's really helpful. And I just have a quick question towards the first prerequisite course, the 8-week MBSR. So do you prefer us taking it online with Brown University or taking it in person at our location? Is there
Yeah,
any?
I appreciate that question. And am I saying it right? She?
In Chinese, we pronounce it like 子琪, but it's okay. 'Ziki.
She.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my professor called me like that. I accept that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I'm sorry, I have my American mouth has trouble with those sounds.
It's
She.
totally fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for telling me. Um, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. So it's your choice. We would love for you to take it with us, and we also honor wanting to take it in your local community in person. So it's really your choice. As long as it's the full 8-week course, you can take it wherever feels best suited to you.
All right. So um there's not a big difference between online and offline, it just based on my own preference.
Is there a big difference between online and in person? I think there's a difference, for sure. I'm teaching an in-person MBSR class right now here at Brown, and I love the opportunity to teach in person.
Yes.
I also love teaching online, and I think it's a really effective way of teaching MBSR, similar to the way in which I responded to Althea's question about whether people kind of stick together after. There are MBSR classes that form groups and continue meeting. And a very common feedback that we hear is how surprised people are by how close they begin to feel to people in that MBSR class. So I find it really effective online too. And one benefit of online that doesn't happen so much in person is that we get people from all over the world, from many different countries, and that to me is huge. Yeah, but it's really your choice. Both are great ways of doing it.
All right, thank you. And I have one more small question because you mentioned some researchers or faculties that are working in Brown University. I'm wondering, is there any way that I can um, engage in their research or try to, yeah, some kind of way like that?
Yeah, so there are a number of different ways. Number one, we offer, it's called the Evolution of Mindfulness Speaker Series. And we just had one yesterday, so the timing isn't great for it, and we're going on a summer break now, but we'll pick it back up in the fall. And so that's we sometimes it's a researcher here from Brown. More frequently, we invite researchers from around the country and world to come speak with us about their research. So we just had one yesterday, and it's always one of our research or faculty, at least interviewing someone. So I mentioned Shufang Sung and Lynn Corbell. They were the ones to interview, to speak with. It wasn't really an interview, to speak with David Trelevin. And so all of those are available on YouTube, and I will put a link to that in the chat. Beyond that, I'm looking it up right now, so I'm going to pause while I find this so that I can show you it. Yeah. Okay, so on our Mindfulness Center website, we have a page on that website about research. And so I'm going to share my screen and show this to you. Yeah, so here's the Mindfulness Center website. If you scroll down, you can learn about our mission, values, and goals. But here's the research page, which gives you an overview of our research. And here's Judd Brewer talking about it. And then you can find out more here, which takes you to a whole bunch of articles by our faculty. So I will put these links in the chat for you so that you can look into those. So that's the research page, and I'm going to get the speaker series as well. I'll put that there. Give me one moment. I should also mention that we offer a weekly meditation, community meditation session on Mondays at noon. It's a 20-minute meditation and then a bit of time after to talk about how that meditation was and to hear how other people respond. So I will also put a link to that in the chat in case you are interested in joining us for that. Our different faculty rotate through it, so different people offer that each week. Any other questions? What time zones do we run our classes? East Coast time. So all the classes posted on the website are East Coast time. Okay. If there aren't any other questions, I want to thank you for joining us tonight for this info session. Really appreciate your questions, your interest in our program. Really happy to stay connected with any of you if you have additional questions or just want to talk more about our classes. I think we have a great program and would love to see you at one of our free offerings or one of our classes. So thank you all, and inviting you to unmute and say goodbye. And take good care, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Take care, all.